Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. Today we have the wonderful, the incomparable, the delightful, the delectable Joe and Barrie Glenn. So strap yourselves in for the next hour and a bit. We're going to kick off today with one of their brand new tracks that has just been submitted to the digital stores. This is Geordie.
As I walked out over London Bridge one misty morning early, I overheard a fair pretty maid lamenting for her Geordie. Ah, my Geordie will be hanged by a golden chain. 'Tis not the chain of many. He was born of King's royal breed and lost to a virtuous lady. Go bridle me, my milk-white steed. Go bridle me, my pony. I will ride to London's fair court to plead for the life of my Geordie. My Geordie never stole nor cow nor calf. He never hurt any. Stole just one of the King's royal deer to feed a starving family. Two pretty babies have I born. The third lies in my body. I'd really part with everyone if you could spare the life of Geordie. The judge looked over his left shoulder. He said, "Fair maid, I'm sorry." He said, "Fair maid, oh, you must be gone, for I cannot pardon Geordie." My Geordie will be hanged by a golden chain. 'Tis not the chain of many. He was born of the King's royal breed and lost to a virtuous lady.
Joe and Barrie Glenn with Geordie. Hi everybody, welcome to the show. I hope you're all doing well. It's Friday morning here in Australia. I'm feeling good, ready to go. And I hope you're all doing well out there. Over if you're watching on Facebook, if you're over on YouTube, or if you're on, you can see somebody's over there on Twitch TV, so that's good too. So I came across these wonderful artists. I think the first time was on Pete John's channel. So And yeah, started following their music. And you probably think, why would somebody who's known for listening to death metal to listen to these guys? Well, because they make really high quality music, and I've really wanted to know more and more about them as I've got to know them on my channel as well. So we're going to introduce the two, the only, the incomparable, the delightful, the delectable, the not in the sheep dip. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, welcome to the show, Joe and Barrie Glenn. How are you both today?
Hi, Jade. Hi, everyone.
He's got a day off from the sheep dip today.
Yes, day off.
Good stuff. And before we get into it too much here, I want to just do this. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Barrie. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Barrie.
Oh.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I've got my
Cheers.
coffee. So, and where you guys are on the
Okay.
wine. Awesome. This is going to get down and dirty today. That's exactly what I wanted to see.
Joe,
Oh, birthday present.
Look at that. The Delicate Giants from Russ 8889. It got there, Russ. Are you happy? Nice stuff. So are you doing well?
Okay.
Doing good?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we
You
are.
guys have been
Yeah.
releasing a fair bit of music.
We do try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do try.
One. Yeah. We do basically mostly traditional, so we haven't got and a few original thrown in. So probably a faster process, taking a tradition and redoing it to suit us. But yeah.
Well, I'm going to kick off with asking the usual questions I throw at everybody just to kick off, and you can both answer individually because that's So take your time to both answer individually. What does music mean to you?
You go first. Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Everything. It's I don't know. I think I found that it brings people together, especially when we've made so many friends just simply through music, especially in South Africa, going gigs and it brings people together. It's like a common goal. Yeah, it means a lot. Is that enough? What do you mean to you?
Yeah, it's the same
Same.
thing. You meet them. You meet the best people through music. It's a leveler. There's no separation between creed, color, or anything like that. It's just a great thing. Music is the best, and they should teach it in schools more.
Not
Yeah, can we skip the recorder? If there's any schools watching out there, can we just ditch the recorder already and just get down to music? Absolutely. All right, I'm going to jump around a little bit today because there's been debate. So you guys live in Canada, so we know that. But
Yep.
Yeah.
where in Canada?
Well, it's Southern Ontario.
But
Yes, it's the warm part.
is there a
No.
warm part in Canada?
It's,
No,
it's,
not really.
it's drizzling today.
Right.
Yeah, it's the summers are great, but the winters are brutal.
It's a soft
So
weather.
where were you both originally born?
I was born in Canada. That's how they had to let me in. But
Right.
I was born here in Hamilton, where we live now. Well, we live in Stony Creek, but it's sort of Hamilton. And but I grew up in England. I was 2 years old when I went back to England. My father was born in England, but grew up in Canada, the other way around. And he met my mum as a war bride when he was stationed overseas with the Canadian artillery during the war.
What about you, Joe?
I was born in Chile, which is just on the border of Wales. My dad was in the RAF, so we travelled a lot. And I moved to Cornwall, back up to Reading, and so on, roundabout. Devon, that.
Yeah,
So well,
I grew up
see,
in
I
Reading.
wouldn't have picked that.
No, mother's Welsh,
I
my
should have.
grandfather's
I should have
Welsh.
with all the sheep
Jones.
dip jokes that you were throwing into the chat, shouldn't I?
Hey, that's
Hang on, that's New Zealand.
Australian.
You got to love the
Oh,
sheep jokes, right? All around the world, they get passed to the next country. It just gets passed along down the line, you know.
Yeah.
You know what? My grandfather was a sheep farmer in New Zealand. This was back before the First World War, I believe. But yeah, he always said it was a really beautiful country.
We're in Australia.
So
Oh, right.
No,
Yeah, New Zealand.
New Zealand.
New Zealand is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. So, but there's South Africa in there as well, from what I know.
Oh yeah, that was the best part of our lives.
Yeah,
we really.
we were there between 1970 and 1980. It's really good times.
And that's where most of our music met most of our friends, and we went back there in 2016 and did some more music with people that are still living. Yeah, a lot of them are still
Awesome.
strong.
So-
So that was it. That's where all the
Yeah, well, we're
Stories
definitely going to
lie.
be coming back to that. I can feel that. So, all right, well, let's ask the other obligatory questions that we normally throw, and then before we say hello to everybody after the next song or something. So, do you recall what music was played in both of your households when you were a nipper, and has it influenced you?
For me, not really, because I grew up with Burl Ives, Big Rock Candy
Oh, wow.
Mountain, and Knew an Old Woman Followed a Fly. and my dad listened to Nat King Cole, which I actually like.
Yeah.
Nat King Cole's great. But that was that sort of thing. And and my dad used to sing in the car a lot, but that's
oh
about
my
it.
God.
And my gran used to play piano in the silent movies. Oh, is that dating?
Hang on a minute.
or
Hang on a
what?
minute. How does
Little bit.
that work? So
Jesus.
she played piano in silent movies.
Listen.
Is that saying something to her that she played piano in a silent movie? They mustn't have thought much of her chops.
That's what they did. That's what they did. They had no sound. It was all just, if somebody got shot, they used to slam the piano lid.
Nice. And if only we could go back to those days. Be better than the Marvel universe at the moment. What about you? What about you, Joe?
Well, I can remember my uncle, because my uncles, the Joneses, they had a dairy, and he used to go off about 4 o'clock in the morning to collect the churns of milk, and he'd be singing, "Lindy, did you hear the mockingbird sing last night?" That was Paul Robeson, and my nickname's been Lindy Lou since I was a kid.
It was strange growing up in that family
Yeah,
because
to Paul Robeson.
Joe was called Lindy. So when they were talking about Lindy, I said, "Who's this Lindy?" So, "Oh, that's Joe." And Peter was called Jeremy, and her dad John was called Jack, and her mum
Okay.
was called what? Rona.
Well, Rona, she's Welsh, Rona.
But everybody knew her as Jane, so it was really confusing.
Yeah, well. And my gran used to play Jim Reeves. And other than that, it was Davy Crockett. I don't know the hell did that one.
Crockett.
And I'm really dating myself now.
Yeah.
Who's that? Kiss me goodnight, Sergeant Major.
Oh,
Do you really need
You
to
can
know
give me
more?
as much as you want. Hey, I'm not prying anything from you. You're just giving me what you want to give. That's what this show's all about. You know?
it's a miracle we started playing music.
Before we
at all.
came on the show, we're going over reminiscing about things in South. Oh my God, yeah. Right,
We've
yeah.
written notes.
Onward and outward. Next.
Move along. Get out of there. I've been told. Get the hell out of there. All right. So do you both remember the first album that you purchased and or was given as a gift? I'm just going to date you further now.
No,
You are. Okay.
Okay, the first album I bought with my own money was John Renbourn, Another Monday, which was a knockout album. It's still great today. I was convinced this guy had three hands. It's brilliant.
Then when you got to know me, you found I had the same one.
Yeah. So that's when I knew she was a keeper. Yeah, who doesn't say, is it? And the first album I was given, Joe gave me the Rory Gallagher live double album, which is a great album.
So how did you meet?
We knew each other.
We did know each other in England.
Yeah, we'd met.
I met him when he was drunk on his 21st birthday in a rose bush.
Oh, I fell through a rose bush. Yeah.
And that's when I met him. Yeah. But since then I married to someone else, and then we went to South Africa, and I met Barrie there. And I thought he was gay when I first met him. To be honest, he had long blonde.
I snuck up on her.
Long blonde hair, impeccably dressed in a velvet jacket. He was really, Yeah. And I thought I was safe.
He was safe.
Anyway, needless to say, we did get together.
Yeah. Yeah, we started playing.
Permanently.
We started playing with each other.
Yeah.
That's not very gay.
Yeah. So that's when we got playing together.
Oh, right. Oh, sorry. God. I thought you just met and just started playing with each other. Like.
Well, that's right. Anyway. No. Cut his hair. Anyway, I used to go. He had a bed sit in Johannesburg in Jura Park, and we had a Sony reel to reel, and he'd be sitting on the floor, just borrowing people's records and albums, and just taking the tracks he liked. This is what we all love, isn't it? Taking other person's material and not buying it, but just copying onto reel to reel. That was his thing.
The early days of file sharing.
Everybody was
for those of you who don't know.
Yes. Yeah, that's pretty much it, isn't it? Yeah.
So where were we? Yes. Anyway, that's how we met.
And your records?
Yeah. Oh, my record?
Yeah, the first one you bought.
The first one I got was Joan Baez, because her first one, and I suppose I was influenced by her, because I used to play with another girl in Reading who ever went out to South Africa, and she played classically, and she taught me guitar. I had a guitar for my 21st birthday, and the boyfriend then, he was a sax player, and he worked in a music store, so he chose a Yamaha. It's been a really, really good guitar, actually. It's a good guitar. That's how I started playing.
And the first record you were given?
I was given Thin Lizzy, Live and Dangerous.
Did you like that? You still got it. Awesome. I love it when people still have their first albums. It's awesome.
Still got all our vinyl and CDs and that.
See, that's a true music lover right there. If you're still holding on to that stuff, and I feel so sorry for so many young people now who never are going to own a physical album, and everything's on that phone, and there's nothing to collect. Yeah. Nothing's actually like.
No crackle.
Well, the thing with it was that you got the cover, especially with a double album. You opened it up, you got photographs of the band, you got a liner note with all the lyrics and who played on each track and everything. It was all the information there. It was a thing to read while you were listening to the music, which was it was the whole package. It was really good.
Absolutely. And did we ever read those things over and over and over and over again, and never got bored of it? Yeah. Isn't that interesting? We're
put the record on.
Where today people get bored within a minute and want something fresh. It's like YouTube, if you're not putting out a new video each day, people just disappear from your channel. But back then we could look at the inside of a gatefold of an album and be satisfied for 10 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Also with an album, a lot of people just pick
a couple of tracks they like, and then that's it. But with an album, you go through it several times, playing it, and the one you didn't really like so much then becomes the favourite. You actually get
it changes,
So that's what I like.
You bought an album for a couple of tracks and you ended up liking the whole thing, rather than just buying individual tracks and then you never get to like the stuff you've left behind.
Yeah, I was never somebody myself who got into purchasing singles. I was always a vinyl collector of albums or cassettes and not cassette singles, because, I don't know, the whole story was something, was what I wanted. I wanted to get lost in an hour of listening to music. I still can't get into it now with singles. Like, I release a single and I feel absolutely empty when I release a single for some reason.
Yeah, I don't even like EPs really, but I have EPs. But
I think singles takes you back to jukebox days and put your money in. And I used to buy all singles when I was a kid because I couldn't afford anything else. I used to go out and get singles. But put them on record player and each one drop down individually, clunk. Yeah. Off you go. Got some of those too.
Yeah, I've got singles dating from 58 to 66.
Buddy Holly.
Eddie Cochran.
Eddie Cochran.
For some reason, I imagine you have this room with a whole bunch of vinyl wall to wall. I don't know why, but it's probably not true.
It's one.
Well, it's
around the corner.
Yeah.
So we actually have a video we playing in front of the bookcase.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. My God, yeah.
Clutter.
So we'll start with you, Joe. When did you start playing music? When did you start or know that you were interested in it? Were you really young when you got wanted to start singing or just picking up an instrument?
Really young. We were in Cornwall. Going back, I was living in Cornwall, and my mother put me into plays and things like that, and I had to sing on stage. I even went to a music lesson to play, and I can remember as a kid I had to get up on stage and play something from My Fair Lady.
All I want.
I had to sing that. So I had singing lessons then, but then they put me into ballet, which is just disastrous.
Oh, I could have got you to dance on my FMC video clip in front of a placenta.
I know, and I actually got into music when I was about 21, when I got that Yamaha guitar, and we used to go and play around later. And but I really seriously got into it totally when we went out to South Africa, I guess, and we had a band. I didn't really play the band in England until I came back and played in bands, but I started for seriously.
Well, we met Dave and Assie,
South Africa. Yeah, we met Dave and Assie.
Assie Williams.
Alison Williams.
Alison O'Donnell now.
Yes, and she's now living in Dublin, and she's
very prolific.
Very prolific, yes. Yeah, she produces and she uses
she does
Reaper for all her recordings.
Lot of festivals.
Yeah, I did some searching on you.
and she creates all over the
world. I did my searching, did my research on you, and found your previous recordings, some which you can't get because they're only on, I'm guessing, on vinyl, and I came across Alison's music. So yeah, I was like, holy hell, how much music has she got? There is so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just lately, Alison asked Barrie to collaborate and do some mandolin on, I think, 7 of her tracks.
Yeah.
For an album that's coming out. It hasn't come out yet, but I think it's going to be really nice when it comes out. More folky, because she does some kind of weird stuff as well. But
it's out there stuff.
That's all I can say, Alison, if you're listening.
You're weird, Alison.
But anyway.
You heard it right here. What about you, Barrie? What inspired you to pick up an instrument and get into playing music?
Well, I a lot of people playing electric guitar in a sort of Shadows Ventures type band, and then played rock music, and then I was in a soul band for a while, and that was great fun, but I was pretty much just a rhythm guitarist, so didn't do a lot of lead stuff. And then that band broke up, and so I bought an acoustic guitar because I got fed up with people not turning up to practices and the politics within the group. And, that sort of thing. I'm sure everybody knows all about that. So I bought an acoustic guitar and then discovered that I couldn't really sing. And, so I met Joe, and then things took off, really.
Joe, is he another one of these people who sits around saying, I can't really sing, but he actually can?
Oh, it's actually a pain in the arse. He keeps saying, I can't sing. And I said, crying out loud. I said, men can get away with anything, which didn't help.
I hope you smack him up the head for that kind of stuff. But don't mess up his hair, though. Don't mess up his hair.
I make him... No. I make him sing, and it's okay. Yeah. I said, as long as you're singing in tune, you're fine.
Well, yeah, she does stop me. I do it in sections. And she said, no, do that again. Why? What's wrong with that? No, it was horrible.
Oh, you know what? Now we have garage and you have tracks.
Yeah.
You solo each track out and realise how shit it is and how to fix it. Before, you just did it in front of a mic and, that sounds okay.
Yeah. But, when you solo it out...
Oh, my God, I've got to do that again and again and again.
The joys of recording music. It is like, I think... It's funny, isn't it? Because I know when I first started recording, back in the day, it was in a studio and you paid a lot of money to do it, so you made every second count. But I was always happy that the vocals were done last. So if you're in the studio for 5 days, on the 5th day, normally all the vocals would be done last, and nobody was paying attention by that stage, so nobody could sit there and critique you when the solos of your vocals were down. They're all too drugged out to bother. So that was the best. Yeah. But now sitting, I think over time, the solo button. I mean, I see a lot of people say it. What do you think on this? The solo button is quite scary, but I've played your music on my channel while I've been putting drums to it and soloed things out. Do you get used to it after a while, hearing soloed stuff? Is that still pain you hearing it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I don't even like my speaking voice soloed out.
With Geordie, there was one harmony. I thought that's fine, and when I went to sort of trim it and I soloed, I thought, oh Christ, back to the drawing board on that one. So I had to go and redo it. I don't like listening to solo. I don't know. But anyway, it's all right. I'm glad we got GarageBand. It means we can be a whole band instead of just two.
Yeah. Oh, it's great fun. It's great.
COVID was good for that, no doubt.
I just I just stick the track on, the GarageBand, and then I noodle to it, and it's just so much fun. Before I used to have to do it to a cassette player.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't much fun.
All those days. So I'm going to jump in and play a track. So I'm going to play something that you have just released, which is on Spotify, and then we'll come back and say hello to everybody in the chat. So this is Bonnie at Morn, and we'll play this, and we'll say hello to everybody in the chat when we come back, and then you can tell us a little bit more about this song. Alrighty, so let's jump in. Guys, get ready. This is, if I get all my volume and all my knobs ready, because we all know how much I love playing with knobs. All right, this is Bonnie at Morn. Oh, yeah.
She is in a meadow.
Holy shit, I'm so relaxed after watching that. I could go to sleep right now. I'm so relaxed. Today's show is completely different than a normal show where I'm normally quite hyper and stuff, but today I feel so mellow. Thank you for that. It's a pleasant change. Let's jump over and say hello to folks in the chat. I haven't been ignoring you. I see there's many of you here, so thank you all for being here. Panda gets here. Sorry, effing good to see you. Audible Video Bear. Kim Harden Hudson. Doctor's Orders.
Hi, Kim.
Sean Chandler. Thomas Christ. Andy Goldsby. Tom Carrera. Peter Scott Chinnery. Is that how I say that? There we go. That's your brother. There you go. Hey, bro, welcome to the show. I'm a poet. I didn't know it. Hey, Russ, 8089. I have an idea. Friggsy's here. Mark, bro. I'm just going to call through as many names as I can get through right now, and then we'll jump back into the interview. Who else did I see here? Gary Hubbs was here, but he had to run off to go and sort out that lawnmower. He's got to get back to me. Bear is here. Who else? Kim Hudden Hudson. Let me scroll. I'm trying to catch up, guys. But there's so many of you here, which is a fantastic day. John David Lees, Andy Dion, thank you for being here also. And you know what? I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and then go up a little bit and see how we go, because I saw Dragon Lady's here. Christopher Rossi is here. I saw Mark Lovell is here as well. And let me get to it, because I did see the Distance Acoustic Duo is here as well. Who else do I see in my magic mirror, which I don't have in front of me? I think I've got most people. If I have missed you, I do apologize. Gregory O'Sullivan, Dave Fox. Yeah, so thank you all for being here. If I've missed you, just say hello down in the chat. Brad Examples here. He's quiet as well. Le Production Zevon is here as well. Good to see you. So tell us a little bit about before I ask, what I really like about your recording, since I've worked with you as well, is what I find interesting with people using GarageBand and home studios and such these days, is things can kind of start to sound a little bit processed. But what you capture with your music is quite incredible. You maintain a feel of an authentic band. Like there's an actual jam going on in a studio. And I know you're not recording all together, you're adding tracks. But what you manage to capture in your music is that it sounds like it's actually being jammed live. So I really appreciate about your music, how that comes out. It's kind of like what how the Beatles recorded their music, how so I think it's awesome how you do that. I don't know how you do it. I wish I could capture that. But tell us a little bit about how the Bonnie at Morn came together.
Well, it's a song we've been doing for quite a while. We did it with Flibbertigibbet as well.
Yeah.
And I try and visualize watching a band on stage, and if the guitar player's over one side and the mandolin player's over the other, and the vocals are in the middle, and I just try and picture what it would be like if you saw it live, and try and go from there, and sort of separate things. And it's easier for us. We're an acoustic duo. It's not as complicated as when you've got drums, keyboards, and maybe a horn section and all that sort of thing. Then it gets tricky. But we're really just two people, and at the most we have maybe 4 instruments. I know Joe has maybe 2 or 3 wind instruments at a time, but generally I just have 2: guitar, mandolin, and sometimes octave mandolin. But it's a lot easier for us being an acoustic duo, really. So it's basically.
When we first started using GarageBand, before we watched Pete's tutorials, etc., everything was down the middle.
Yeah.
No clue about triggers trimming off the pops and things. No clue about separating.
Separation and stuff
No
like
clue about reverb. But we learned, and especially about putting a little bit of reverb on every instrument so it looks as if it's all in one room. I think that was one of the things.
Yeah.
And it's just trial and error. And I always say to Barrie, okay, it's done. You've got to make sure it sounds all right, because I'm a bit deaf in one ear. You make sure it's okay, because I can't hear the same things you can. So if you say it's okay, then it's okay. So he gets the last say. I used to think that was mastering, Jade. I didn't realise that mastering was a whole different process. I had absolutely no idea.
Yeah. We're still rookies. We're still learning.
Yeah, still learning.
Yeah.
Well, for still learning, well, you know, at the end of the day, we are all still learning, aren't we? Like, you know, I run by the mantra: if I live another day on this planet and don't learn anything in that day, I'm doing something wrong. You know, I never want to know everything, because then what's there to live for? Honestly. And again, Audible video is written in the chat. So the same thing has popped up here. Pete Johns is the gateway drug to making music. So I saw he was in the chat. So Pete, if you haven't just popped in and then nicked off like you normally do, we're going to say it again. You're a drug, Pete. We're going to have to put you on the banned substances list here in Australia, because you lead people to make great music.
We were thinking of charging him rent, because he spends more time in my living room than I do.
Oh, Jade's starting to do
Oh
that
no!
as well.
Yes.
Oh, that's even scarier. God. So, all right, let's ask some hard hitting questions here. Who's the slave driver when producing music? Who's the? I reckon this is. Can we create a fight here? So,
We see. I go off in the morning, and Joe said, "You got to get a scratch track down or a guitar track down, so I've got something to work on." And as the day wears on, he said, "Have you got that track down yet?" I go, "Oh no." Okay, do it. You know.
Get off that phone and do it.
Yeah.
He's addicted to the phone.
No, I'm not.
Anyway.
And so I at least have to get one track down, so Joe's got something to work on while I'm away. And
Yeah, he's got that one scratch down. I can do a load of stuff, and then he comes back and critiques it.
See, I got a different story when I was working with Joe and getting. I just got the impression that you were the slave driver, Barrie.
no.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Well, it's because Joe does all the techie stuff, you know. So I kind of say, "Oh, you got to do this, got to do that," because I can't do it. So
Won't.
oh, well, okay, won't.
I think how you got that idea is if I do my bit, and he thinks it's awful. He just says, "You've got to do that again. You've got to do it again." I said, "I think it's all right." "No, it's not. You can do better." And that's what he does. He's a slave that way until I'm shouting at him, swearing.
Oh yeah.
You wouldn't believe it.
She gets angry.
I get very angry, and then I do it again, and it's better. I think, oh, okay.
I say, do that bit again. Well, thank me tomorrow. but not now.
Look, it's a really fantastic thing to have somebody to bounce off to and be so honest. You know, I think we talk about this on Clubhouse amongst our little group of friends with, you know, all these shows that are around now that play people's music. And sometimes you sit there and think, am I getting an honest opinion on my song that's being played? And this is, I'm not critiquing, I'm not just putting dispersions on any of those shows, but even in things like groups and stuff, when you put a song out there, you think, am I getting, is this genuine feedback that people actually think this is good? So to have that partnership between you two and have such honesty, you think that helps you create better music? And I'm sure you don't get too angry at each other.
Well,
it gets
Nice.
It does get a bit heated, but we sort it out.
And then it usually goes over to record release before I finally put it out to YouTube to see if there's anything that's horribly majorly wrong.
We do ask for innocent.
And then we go and repair it.
We do ask for accurate critiques. You know, say we're concerned about this mix. Is it okay? You know, we're always open to
it's amazing. There's not many people that particularly focus their genre, but they'll still take the trouble to listen, which is amazing to me.
Absolutely. Yeah. You've opened my eyes to, you know, well, I like to listen to all music. If it's good, I'll listen to it. You know, I don't ever hate on a particular genre of music. That's absolutely unhealthy. I lived too many years of my life like that and feel like I missed out on just understanding musicians. So I want to talk a bit about, like, I want to start with you, Barrie, because you, in your time playing in bands, have travelled quite a fair bit, and I know you have played, I think, in one in particular with a band throughout. I nearly said which dates, but throughout South Africa, you've toured.
Yeah.
You can.
I'm just going. It was around 60s and 70s. Am I right there?
Yeah, between 1970
and
1980.
Wow. See, I'm wrong. My research sucks.
Well, no, we did a fair bit of work in the 60s.
Yeah, that's what I was heading. That was you solo, wasn't it? So you were playing with other bands, yeah?
Yeah. We had a band that had a great horn section. We had 2 trumpets, 2 saxes, a baritone sax, and the singer played alto sax. It was and keyboards, bass, and drums. And as I say, I just pretty much played rhythm guitar there. Used to do a bit Steve Cropperist sort of stuff, but not very much. But yeah, actually, that band I left because my parents said, "Oh, chance to do this full time." And they said, "Well, get a career behind you before you pursue this silly music nonsense." And so I left the band, and they went on to back Edwin Starr when he came over to England. You know, he had that hit War, and he needed a backing band, and the band I was with went on tour with him. So that was an opportunity missed. No, I wouldn't have been rich and famous. When he went back to America,
curse you, parents! Wrong again. Wrong.
Yeah.
So, yeah, continue.
So when the time came in South Africa that I auditioned for the bluegrass band because tragically their guitar player was killed in a car crash, and I said, "Oh, could I join your band?" And I went out for an audition, and I got the job, and I came back to Joan and I said, "Well, I got the job, I want it," but at that time I was a cartographer draftsman working for a mineral exploration company. I had a fairly decent job, and we had a townhouse, and she said, "Yeah, when?" I said, "Well, I've got a month rehearsals, and then we go to Durban." So she said, "Yeah, do it." So all kudos to Jo. And that was quite an experience. That was.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
So both of you were playing music in South Africa, is that right, Jo?
Yeah.
And
yeah, we were.
Yeah,
we had a band.
So
Yeah.
Tell us about this band.
Yeah. Flibbertigibbet was a semi-pro. We met David and Assie, now Alison. We used to run a folk club in Johannesburg along with another couple, and a lot of really good musicians.
Called Mangles.
Mangles, yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really stellar musicians used to come and play there. We met Assie and David there. Now David and Assie formed this band with us, and Flibbertigibbet, and we were semi-professional. Assie and Dave were unable to go professional at the time. It wasn't sort of lucratively possible. But we played at a few venues, and then we made this album.
We used to do a lot of house parties.
Yes, you understand, in South Africa at that time, there was no TV. Right?
Yeah.
There was no TV. And it was all communal living. And we used to have community house parties. People would be in houses. There used to be houses that people would have to rent, and great times. Have films, and we'd have tennis tournaments and music.
Swimming galas.
Yeah, swimming galas. Running naked across the lawn from the sauna into the pool. You wouldn't believe how much fun we had with the music. Yeah. And yeah,
the one house we had a sauna and a big pool. Yeah, so it's pretty nice.
Yeah, so we had jobs then, so we could pay the rent. But when Flibbertigibbet had to break up and Barrie was offered this job with the bluegrass band, there was absolutely no money. We lived on dried beans and Valium and cheap red wine, and we lived in some appalling holes. As long as I had the wine, the Valium, I was happy. It was we stayed in some real hot. We stayed in some really great places, and we lived in a combi van.
Yeah, we headed off south down at Durban in a combi with 2 cats.
1 cat. 2 cats?
I think we had 2 cats at the time.
And we on the way down, we'd find a place.
Yeah, we'd go into a trailer, like a caravan park. At night, and we'd leave before light, so we didn't have to pay.
But one night the cat escaped, and we were trying to find this bloody cat before it got light. Yeah. So
it's interesting because you have preconceived ideas about what people are like from the little time you have knowing them, and I don't know. I've been around lots of pagan communities myself for quite a few years, and done a fair bit of nudie stuff around fires and a whole bunch of crazy stuff like that. And I just envisaged both of you driving around in a combi van. So I'm glad I'm kind of right, but I'm not sure about the whole nudist colony stuff. So I don't know.
No.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
No.
It wasn't a nudist colony.
Australia, the towns were so far apart that it was a lot of driving to get from one community to the next. So right over the Karoo, or one time going to Cape Town, it's a 24-hour trip, round trip.
And we did it.
Both of us driving, or 4 of us driving.
We did it in a Beetle.
In a Beetle, yeah. So there's just all this big distance between the towns. And when Barrie was with the bluegrass band, it was 3 monthly venues, and it was with Holiday Inns. So the last 2 years we were in South Africa, we were doing 3-month stints in all the resorts, with the sea resorts, and it was just magic. I never forget it, really.
Holiday Inns in South Africa was a bit different to over here. They had an entertainment.
It was multiracial as well. There was no apartheid with Holiday Inn.
They had a stage, tables and chairs, and a bar. It was it's pretty nice.
And at that time I was a waitress. I used to wear these big bother boots, and if anybody got a bit antsy, they'd get a kick in the shins. Or if they got really nasty, have a tray of drinks and just get drop them. Security.
There was one waitress that walked past this guy and said, "If you pinch my bum again," and he did, stupid guy. And she emptied the tray of drinks all over him, and the security came along, made him pay for the drinks, and kicked him out.
Nice, Joe bringing the biff to barmaids. Awesome stuff. Yeah, look, so you've had a lot of experience touring. I mean, and I think that shows through in your music, because anybody who's actually been out and performed and done the hard slog on the road normally shines through in their production in a home studio, because you understand about making music, you understand about travel time, all this stuff that a lot of artists will never get to experience, especially with the times we're going through now. God, who knows if we're ever going to get back to be able to doing that again. So that's. I want to ask, how did you meet Alison O'Donnell? Because you've worked with her with Flibbertigibbet and such. How did you come across her?
Well, as I say, we used to run this folk club in Mangles in South Africa, and then one evening, Alison and David
David
Williams came in, and they were just amazing. Just the two of them did some really great stuff, and they were sort of kind of into traditional music as well as between them they wrote some pretty amazing stuff themselves. And I just went up and said, "Do you fancy getting together?" And a bit dubious, but we went along one night, and David said, "I've got this book here. It's got some tunes in it. Can you play along?" And so I said, "Oh yeah, I'll go." And the chords were there, and it's easy stuff. It's just 3 chords. And I played along, and I said, "Oh great!" So we did some more, and I think that was my audition. I think I passed. But folk music, it's 3 chords. I mean, we do stuff that's 2 chords. Bonnie at Morn is 2 chords, and a lot of it is. You just have to try and make it as interesting as possible. But the melodies are so good. The traditional melodies are so good, and like Morris tunes and all the rest of it. The tunes are I mean, you can whistle them on the way to work.
Oh yeah, really Barrie used to play in a Morris band.
Yeah, I used to play.
He used to play fiddle, right? He was a fiddler. Why isn't he a fiddler now?
Because I make furniture.
Because he makes furniture. That's it.
Look, it's not the amount of chords that you use; it's how you use them, as they say.
Yeah. Yes. So
Yeah.
I've heard that before.
There's variations on that.
You don't put your finger.
Yeah.
So you came over from South Africa back to Canada, so where you were born, and do you class yourself? So you say you make furniture. Are you still making furniture? What do you do? Because you're always out of the house during the day. I hear Joe say he's down at the sheep dip or something like that. I don't know.
I just help out occasionally when I'm asked,
Which is.
But I'm sort of basically retired now. But I used to make furniture, and not kitchens. I didn't do kitchens. I just made tables, chairs, wardrobes, stuff like that. Furniture.
Yeah.
And
with wood.
It was a lot of fun. It's a bit like music. It's a lot of fun, but we never made any money. Joe said it was a hobby.
It was a hobby because he had his own business, but it was
It was a hobby.
Oh my God!
Joe went off and earned the money, so I played in the workshop.
So this is how it was, Jade. I was nursing 20 years and stagnating for 20 years. I hated it.
Yeah.
And the moment I retired, we started playing music again.
Yeah, we've spent a lot of time. In our long lives of doing nothing. It's kids and family get in the way, and jobs get in the way, and you don't have the time. We spent a lot of time doing nothing, because if we'd stuck at it, we'd be a lot better than we are now. But that wasn't the case.
So
there you go.
So what do the kids and the grandkids think now that you've got back into playing music? And now, like, especially, I don't know how old your grandkids are, but now, I don't know, grandpa and grandma have got music on Spotify and Apple. Like, I mean, they don't give a shit.
David's quite keen. He started playing guitar. Yeah. And I said, "How are you getting?" Because he said he's in Vancouver now. He's in the forces, but so he started playing guitar. Yeah. I'm just sorry that none of my kids were musical, but and Matthew picks up his guitar occasionally. Yeah. They may get into it later in life. Who knows? My grandchildren, I don't know. They're too small. 5, 3, and 1, and the 3-year-old is still in hospital. Yeah. I told you that. She's still. But hopefully she'll be home soon.
Definitely hope she's back. She's home soon and all good.
Yeah.
Maybe it skips a generation. Like my grand played piano, and my mum didn't, and so I got interested. Right? So our kids don't. So maybe the grandkids.
Welsh. So the Welsh are good singers, right? They're supposed to be.
Supposed to be. What else have they got?
Sorry to all the Welsh people out there. Just send your hate emails to Barry.
No, Barry, very disparaging about the Welsh. Doesn't like the accent.
No,
I think
no.
it's a,
Well, yeah. Really.
yeah.
It's a bit sing-song.
It's a bit sing-song.
I don't know. They don't like the Cornish accent, but there you go.
Oh, we like the
They got
Cornish
it.
accent.
God, I hate to think what you think of the Australian accent. God, if you can get out of all the F-bombs in there.
No,
No, it's fun. I like the Australian accent.
when I came back from South Africa, people said,
South
I
Africa.
can't tell if you're Australian, English, or South African.
Yeah,
I said, well, you can't tell.
yeah.
They sort of merge. I said, oh, well, no, South African's very different, you know,
At least think we were
but then
Australian.
they couldn't tell different. So I don't know
Yeah.
what can you say.
I'm going to jump in and play a song, then we're going to come back and talk about this, because I was lucky enough during Songtember to actually collaborate with both of you. And, you know,
Yes, you
and
appreciate it.
this year, you don't envisage these things. And here we are in September, and I'm playing drums on a Joe and Barrie Glenn track. It's something I never thought would happen. You know? And I'm so glad I did, because I think definitely, Joe, you can vouch for this. I think we both learned a little bit more about each other, and a little bit more about how to collaborate.
Yeah, that's for sure. And your hair fell out.
Yeah. I had nothing to do
But
with it.
you know what, and there were a few times there where I know you're messaging me, and for those who don't know, so we were sending files back and forward, sending this file back and forward, and we're having trouble opening it here and there. But you know what? There was a couple of times there where Joe was just like, "Oh, I give up," and I was like, "No, we're gonna get through this. We can do this," and we did, you know. And it really wasn't that painful at the end of the day. And I'm sure we both cursed behind our screens. You know,
Oh, just wasting your time.
you weren't wasting my time. No, because we're gonna. Well, let's see. Let's play the song for everybody and the people in the audience. And before I play it too, thank you very much. I have an idea for the kind super chat. That's awesome of you. Thanks, my friend. So let's play the song and let you, the audience. You tell us if you think that we wasted our time doing collaborating, because Pete Johns also played bass on this as well. So this is Bottom of the Food Chain, and enjoy, my friends. Let's kick it off. We'll be back after this.
Started out as a single cell when the world began, as I hear tell. But just a blob with a primitive brain, yeah, bottom of the food chain. Slithered out the primordial ooze. We had no feet, we didn't need shoes. Evolution is the name of the game. Yeah, bottom of the food chain. People evolve, some people change, but some people, they just stay the same. You're of the latter, let me explain. You're still bottom of the food chain. Some people change, but some people, they just stay the same. You're of the latter, let me explain. You're still bottom of the food chain. Surface when you feel the rain. You're still bottom of the food chain.
Get off your bum.
Joe and Barrie Glenn. See what's happened? It's turned me. Oh, what happened? I turned into the bottom of the food chain right there. I turned into a piece of corn. There, now I'm the bottom of the food chain. I'm a banana. Yum! Hello, everybody. I'm a banana. Welcome back to the show. Let me get rid of this stupid banana thing.
Another bite.
There you go. So bottom of the food chain. So look, I had an absolute blast doing that with you, and tell us how this all came about. Tell us how it all came about. The bottom of the food chain song.
I think I have to tell you that. Okay.
Go on.
Barrie had a particularly unpleasant co-worker. He wasn't a co-worker. He was actually.
Don't get too much tea down.
He was one of the bosses. Anyway, he wasn't a very pleasant person, and Barrie trying to sort of get it off his chest. He's written a couple of songs actually. The other one is I guess a lot of swearing in it.
Yeah.
I think he really ought to do it. So he chose the lesser. This one was okay. Song Timber. Let's do this one. We really must do this one, and you can get your guitar, electric guitar out and just jazz it up, do something totally different. So I just made him do it.
Thomas said it's a diss song.
It's a diss song. Yeah. And you kindly said you would sort the drums out. Kindly offered to do drums.
Oh, he did more than that.
He offered to do the bass. And from there on, you know the rest of the story. You did a lot. You didn't just do drums. You actually did some stuff on the vocals and the chain.
You fixed some bits.
And I learned a bit about automation that I didn't know.
Chopping. So I've got the project up here on the screen so everyone can see it. So yeah. As you can see, so we've got some drum tracks here, which I split up into individual tracks. We can go through the instruments here. So we've got a guitar here with a nice room sound on it. Then we've got some these end vocals here. We can do something that you hate.
Dog and Bull.
I just want to find my favorite bit. Here we are. It's
Free from harm.
I love listening to this backing.
Still bottom of the food chain.
That's a guitar.
Get off, you worm.
Get off, you worm. And that laugh at the end. It's so endearing. It's fantastic. I really had a good time doing it. So, I'm glad that I threw my hat into the ring to do it. So the other instruments here, so what have we got? You want to run through what instruments you used on this?
Well, I started off with a guitar man.
We've got an organ in there somewhere.
And Joe play whistle. And then electric guitar comes in. I sort of dust that off. And I had a go at, I fancied putting Hammond organ on. And I can't play keyboards, but you bring it up and it's got all the notes there. So, you don't have to know where the notes are. It tells you what they are. It's very simple. So you just have, it's like Simple Simon. You just have to remember where to put your fingers in, what order to put them in. And so I put the Hammond organ on,
It was just recorded,
which was kind of nice. Yeah.
And we've got a
cool.
rhythm section as well. So we've got this.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about,
the bear on.
That was clashing with the bass, right?
It was just a bit boxy. I think the original tone of it, I think when I jump into it here, all I did was really just EQ it. That's all I did.
I know, it's kind of difficult with the bar on. It's because
I think you tend to put too much bass on.
Yeah, originally we put that on before the bass came on, and I didn't change it because I do try and make sure that the tonal qualities of each instrument are kind of not conflicting with each other.
Yeah,
but I missed that.
Here's your
Thank you,
organ, I
Jade.
think.
Yeah.
So you got some organ in there as well. It's a great little track, and you know, I think what's really cool about it too was, I think a lot of people over Songtember really stepped out of their comfort zone from the typical music that they did.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
And that was, that was
That
a
was
plan
the
for you.
Yeah, that was definitely out of our comfort
Just
zone.
first, said, oh, let's make it folk into rock. So we start off folk and go into rock. Get your guitar out. That was the first idea.
Because when I first got the project, I was listening to it, and the first thing I thought of was, this sounds like Nirvana.
Well, I like Nirvana.
Yeah, well, it shocked the hell out of me. I'm like, I just wasn't. I just followed you for you know. Well, I was going to say so long, but it really hasn't been that long. It's only been like over a year or 2 years. But yeah, it was like, holy hell, what's going on here? This is awesome.
Yeah. It was a bit.
It's actually only
difficult
been
for
a
us.
year.
Yeah,
Because we just missed
Right.
last year's September songs. We came on board with the September song last year, and I think I had GarageBand years ago, and I thought, no, I'll do that. I have no idea what that's about.
Oh, he just opened it up and went, "Oh, this looks scary," and
And
closed
then
it down
I
again.
don't even know how I met Pete, but he liked Black Leg Miner for some reason. I don't even know where he found it. I can't remember. And he put it on Your Music Live, and it's been uphill.
Uphill.
No, not uphill. It's been good ever since. Not downhill.
No.
It's been good
No,
ever since. Yeah, that's how it started.
it's uphill.
We had no mics to start with, just playing into the iPad, and a lot of the early stuff is really
It's a bit
crackly
hissy.
and echoey
Yeah,
and children.
bit hissy.
Hissy.
Oh, we went back to an old recording before we trimmed it, and we thought, Christ,
Oh my
this
God,
is
get that back
terrible.
on.
Yeah, there's all lots of clunks and sniffs and.
Oh, this last one. Barry's
yeah.
got an enormous sniff in it right at the beginning. So I see you're
Well,
going
I
to
have to breathe.
No. When he
No,
plays
you
man-
don't, Barry.
When he plays man, yeah, he sniffs. So I got the automation actually, and I actually managed to get rid of his sniff, and I was quite proud of myself. In the intro, yeah, I was like, "Got rid of your sniff, Barry." Can we do it again?
I've got this image of Joe going, "Can you stop breathing, Barry? You're ruining it." Oh my God.
I wish I could ignore it, but it's really very problematic. No, you can't leave that sniff in there.
Forever and a day, Barry's sniffing is problematic. Barry's breathing is problematic, folks.
Yeah.
So I think we all came across Pete the same way. I know I came across Pete Johns. I was looking to fix something, and as usual, you jump on YouTube these days. And if there's anybody out there who's watching who's still sits there and goes to forums and stuff and waits for a reply, just put your questions into YouTube. You'll find them immediately. And that's how I came across Pete. And I was like, who's this funny little guy? What's he all about? What is this funny little guy all about? And the first thing I remember about Pete was, I am going to admit this, so don't hold it against me. I do have a thing for people with lisps. I just instantly like them. I don't know what it is. And it was the first thing I picked up on Pete, and I was like, I like this little guy. He's got a lisp. I guess it's a...
They're usually ultra intelligent.
What's that?
Lisp, you know that?
Yeah.
They're usually ultra intelligent. with
Yes.
lisp. Or if you can't pronounce W's,
Yeah.
then you're
Well, no,
extra.
No, that's just upper class, and they're not all smart.
But yeah, I came across Pete just to just to fix something, and that's all it was. And then I just started following, and here we all are, you know.
Yeah.
So how did COVID play a part in your musical creativity?
It helped us no end, because all the live gigs were dead and gone. We had a gig to go to which has been and gone. Open mic, we used to go to open mics, and really getting off the ground, getting our 2 or 3 songs together each week. And then COVID hit, so all of a sudden we had to use GarageBand, and now instead of being 2 people duo, we're a band.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it. I love the community we've met since too. Love you all. Yeah.
And I just really enjoy getting in there and recording.
And we've been blessed because we haven't had to go out. We've got each other to play off, and that's good. I think we'd have killed each other otherwise. Don't you think?
Maybe.
Yeah, look, I'm envious. All I have is porn, so, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's okay, but porn doesn't cook dinner. So, it's not that. If it did, it'd be a perfect match made in heaven. I don't know. Where am I going with this? So, as things open up, what do you think about the likelihood of you playing shows again? Is that a thing? Is that going to be a thing? Can you see that in the future?
Well, I think one of the places is starting to open up. They did a gig on Wednesday, actually, but you're having to take all your own equipment, mic stands, everything. So I said, well, and there's so many people wanted to go, so I'll just give it a few more weeks to see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's scary to go out there again, Jade. Just the 2 of us, and yeah. But I think even live, we can get people to play with us.
Yeah. But we miss the meeting of people. You know,
yeah, we used to go to sessions like this. Corktown has an Irish session going every week. We just started getting into that. And you really have to worm your way in there to hit who you know to get into an Irish session, you know.
Get to the inner circle.
Inner circle. We got into the inner circle, and then that COVID took that away. But I'm sure it'll open up.
Well, you've got an advantage, I think, when everything opens up again, because since then you've released so much music. It's like, hey, look at all the music you've released since then. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, but when we go out live, it's going to sound a bit thin,
Yeah.
because you don't have all the other
We
instruments.
have to play it all at once instead of sections.
Yeah, but you know, but I think people appreciate a good acoustic version of stuff. So I think it's an advantage anyway.
Yes.
Hopefully so. Have you thought about once you get out? Have you thought about how you're going to be able to market digital music?
No.
No, we're very bad at that.
I just don't know where to start, really, to be honest.
Yeah, we're very bad at
all we do is put it on digital. I don't even know. Yeah.
When I was living in America, I came across this. I guess other people in America would have seen this. A lot of the gigs I went to, people, when they played a show, instead of handing out a CD, were handing out little memory sticks with a business card tied to it.
Oh.
So I thought that was a really clever thing to do. So I guess they're going to Walmart or whatever and buying a whole bunch of probably 50 or so memory sticks, and then putting their music on the sticks, putting a little loop on, because a lot of memory sticks have a little loop to put a keychain on or something, and then they're attaching a laminated business card to it and handing that out at shows. I thought that was super ingenious.
That's a neat idea.
We used to hand out cassettes and then CDs.
Yeah, we used to with the bluegrass band, we used to do cassettes.
And we used to print our own T-shirts.
We used to print our own, silk screen our own T-shirts and hand those out as well. Yeah. Well, we made a fair bit of money doing that, actually.
Well, yeah, that's how the music industry cycles now. It's all merchandise. It's basically all T-shirts and merch at gigs and such, And because there's no gigs anymore, that's where the music industry is shitting themselves right now, because they can't sell merch. So I'm gonna, go for it. Sorry, I keep talking over you.
So we started doing it for fun, and it's still fun.
Yeah.
We had no idea of selling our product, but as we got into listening to tutorials, and you, Jade, especially with the liver fusion, and there's a few other people I listened to for tutorials, and I thought, well, but it basically we don't really expect to make money.
I don't think you get into music because you figure I'm gonna play music because people like the Rolling Stones make a lot of money, so I'm going to do it. You do it because you want to do it and you enjoy doing it. And if you do happen to make money, it's a bonus.
It just us when people like what you do. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of ego attached to it, and I know it's, it's
I think
good.
the one thing that this pandemic has given many people is there's been a good opportunity to put the ego to the side. And I think there's been a lot of, especially big artists, I noticed this with many big artists, they've had to put their ego aside because they can't go out and flash it around. And do you think there's been, through all this pandemic, I don't know how much popular music you listen to, has there been a leveling of the playing field?
I find a lot of the artists I listen to now are from Your Music Live. I'm actually following, and I'm finding a lot of new music.
A lot of indie music.
Yes, absolutely.
Which we know before, and it's great. There's a lot of really good people playing music that haven't got recording contracts. Probably don't make a lot of money, but they're really good to listen to, and it's all indie music now.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Ready to go.
Well, let's talk about some apps.
We don't use many
that's
apps.
Okay. You don't need to have a massive number of apps, but they don't need to be music either. They may be things that just.
Obviously LumaFusion.
Audio
Share, that's a good one.
So if you don't know what LumaFusion is, I'm sure most people would, but if you're watching for the first time, don't know what it is, it's a video production software, and nearly everyone's stuff these days that I play on the show is made in LumaFusion. I'm doing tutorials on it nearly at least one a week, because it's so cheap and you are able to make...
The erasing one, redraw something.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the
redraw?
What's the one where you can erase things? We saw that
Retouch
on the show as well.
Yeah.
Retouch.
Yeah,
Touch.
I think we got that one. That's a good.
Pixabay.
I think it's called Touch Retouch. There it is. Touch Retouch. Yeah, I've been using that for years. It's that one, I think.
Yeah.
No.
That's a good one.
There's one OnSong I used to use. OnSong is a good one.
Yeah, I forget who did OnSong on this show too. Somebody else mentioned that as well.
You can put your lyrics in there, and you can put chords in, and then if you decide you want to change the key, you can just go change the key, and all the chords change with it. It's fantastic.
And that's the only one. I mean, I bought my iPad solely for OnSong, so that when we did gigs, I could have my sets of lyrics, and it scrolls as you go. Sometimes it messes
up. And you can
up.
get a foot pedal to make it scroll as well.
And set it up on a stand, and just stick your finger and just move the songs along. You can make it big enough to bloody well read it, because my eyesight's bad. And that's what I got it for. And the guy bought the iPad from me. I said, 65 gigabytes going to be... Oh, it's plenty, he said, plenty. So after I bought it, I then got into all the rest of the crap. 65 gigs is just not enough.
No.
So I'm struggling. But OnSong's good. And of course, I'm not using it now because we're at home. But storing your music on it and your lyrics, it's great.
There are a lot of musicians that use them.
It's expensive. Wow.
Yeah.
OnSong?
What is?
I don't know. OnSong?
I don't know. Oh yes, actually yes. I haven't got the Pro. I was paying for the Pro, and the Pro went back to basic because.
All right, so I see there's a free one here. Yep. So there's a free one which has subscription. It looks like subscriptions 70. I'm looking at Australian dollars here, so ignore that. Australian dollars are like $1 million for everything. So there's a free version, so you can try it out, folks. There it is, and there's a paid version.
Yeah, you get a lot on the free version, and Pro is okay if you want to put notes on things, but I think the free version works well if you just want to store your lyrics. It'll scroll.
I'm
sorts of
just going to
things.
bring up
It's good.
Touch Retouch because let me do a search through my apps. That's going to be the best way for me to find it because I couldn't find it the other way. Let's do this. I think it's still called Touch. Or is it just called... I think it used to be called Touch Retouch, but it's... There it is. Touch Retouch for tablet. So there's two versions of it. There's a tablet version, there's an iPhone version of it. And yeah, you can make anything just disappear. So if you've got an annoying uncle or something like this, and he's like, oogling your breast or something, Christmas family photo, you can remove his hand from your breast and you can remove him from your life. It's perfect. It's perfect for removing ugly people from your photos. You mentioned audio share as well. How much does audio share help you to create music?
Well, all my songs go to audio share before I release them. They go there. And I also use the recorder for if I think of something comes in my head to sing or something, I'll record it.
And they're good for trimming.
Trimming, yeah.
And fading out. Yeah.
It's just the extra touch at the end of anything. It's good to have and it's cheap.
I'm sure it does way more than
it does. It does a lot. It does a lot for a little.
Absolutely.
It's
a must-have. Absolutely. Was there anything else that I missed?
We bought the EQ one, the one with the 5 LRC5, is it, or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got that. I'm still trying to figure out how that pinchy thing works. Where you can pinch it together and get rid of just one little bit of EQ out.
Yeah. Well, there's LC7's out now, and I did a terrible review of it. My review of it was absolutely god awful.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't work out how to use it properly, but it's been updated since then, and it's.
Yeah, see those pinchy things. I haven't got it quite. I'm not thinking it don't seem to work.
The pinchy things, I love it.
I know.
I tend to use GarageBand, the 3-band. I just, do the lows and the highs,
used it once,
and I leave the mids alone. I just, if the guitars are a bit boomy, I can just cut off some of the bass, or if the strings are a little bit dead, I just up the treble, and I just leave the mids alone.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, you don't need all the apps. I try and stress that, even though it's kind of counterintuitive of my show, which is how to app on iOS, and a lot of the time you don't need them. Like, you don't need to collect all of them. Like, there's a thing that we joke about on Clubhouse a lot, is that there seems to be this community of people who either enter competitions to win every app they possibly can, or just buy every app, and they're not making any music. It's confusing.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
of course, Joe's worried about
I'm
the
worried-
space it takes.
I'm worried about taking up so much space, like gigabytes. I haven't got the memory to. I just think everything would crash if I get any. There's some that are really nice, like the wider, and some. What was that other one there?
To Shimmer.
Shimmer.
That's sounding
Shimmer.
quite good. We do watch your shows with the apps and think, oh yeah, that'd be good.
It's all interesting. I just don't know if I'll remember my take.
Well, something like Wider is only very small, so I think you'd be okay with Wider. It's only a small app. And it doesn't take a lot of memory either. So I think that's something I should start doing on the shows, is actually tell people how much memory they consume. Have a memory count. So how much space is it going to take up on your iPad or iPhone? You've just given me a really good idea. I can do that at the beginning of the show, because it is listed here on each of. Well, you can see here if I circle it. So it does say here for LRC7, it only takes up 3.2 megabytes. So that definitely doesn't take up too much room.
When I was trying to upload Bonnie at more, and I couldn't. It kept saying no memory. And at the same time, Facebook went down. I think that had something to do with it, because I didn't have any trouble with this last one. What happened there?
Oh yeah, you went to raising.
I was raising everything.
Yeah, look, I think Pete talks about this too. There's like about 5 places you always should check if you're struggling with memory. That is and we can do it now, opening up your Photos app and going to your deleted photos. I think that's where it is. I can't even see where my deleted photos are in here. I can't even give an example because I can't find where it is. Deleted photos. Forget it. So you just go into, we can do it here in the Files app. So in your deleted section, because every time you delete something, it doesn't delete. It stays in this section. The same with your photos. So you need to make sure you go and clear that out. What I do once a month too is I delete the Facebook app and I delete the YouTube app and then reinstall them both.
Really?
Because what happens is they store data in the background. They actually hold stuff in the memory, in the cache. So if you've looked at a lot of photos on Facebook, it actually stores it within the app. So when you go back to it, it loads a lot faster. So instead of trusting Apple with offloading apps, I just uninstall Facebook, reinstall it Facebook, and it cleans it out. And the same with YouTube too. YouTube does the same thing. The more videos you watch on your iOS device, it can store them in the background. So and another good thing, if you're listening to Apple Music and you've accidentally downloaded songs, jump into your settings. We'll do it here. And go down to your music app and see if you've got any songs that have been downloaded. So you can see here, oops, we'll go back. I've got, not optimized storage, downloaded music. I've got 2 albums downloaded. So sometimes you've actually got albums that have downloaded to your iPad. But LumaFusion, Russ has just written in the chat here, LumaFusion is one of the things that hogs heaps of your memory.
Yeah,
No
I
kidding.
can believe it.
Well, I'm saving up for a hard drive. That's the next
Good
thing.
move. Definitely.
When Barry's had his root canal done, which is tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, joy.
Oh, what a shit birthday present, Barry. That's
No,
yeah.
happy birthday.
Happy birthday. We're going to drill into your face.
You did get the shirt.
Yeah.
Bottle of whiskey.
It's all good. We got whiskey and a Delicate Giants shirt. So drill into my face all you want. All right. So we've done our hour and a half. We're at the end of the show. It goes quick, man. It really goes quick.
It does go
Firstly, I want to thank you both for spending some time with me today and telling us all about your music, your life, and who you are. I feel so humble I feel so lucky to have so many great artists on the show, and you share your story with me. I genuinely appreciate it so very much. For those of you who don't know, there are links in the description to all of Joe and Barrie Glenn's music, so on BandCamp. And, hey, go and buy something on BandCamp. I try and, seriously, because it's the best way to get some money to these artists. Apart from streaming, streaming generates nothing. Go and buy something. And I've actually left links in there too to the Flibbertigibbet stuff, which we have on the screen here. So both the Flibbertigibbet albums. Go and check it all out. Go and do the things. Support the artists that support you. And, we all support each other. That's the way it works. And but before we go, so yeah, links are in the description. I need to ask you both, and you can both answer this and have it. It's the question. The question. If somebody was considering becoming creative, Joe and Barrie Glenn, when would you suggest be the best time they do it?
Before I retired.
Yeah. Yesterday. And keep doing it.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
As soon as you get a couple of tins to bang on the floor with a couple of sticks, go.
Yeah. Start and do it every day. And even if you're sort of consider yourself to be too old, you're not. Just start.
Nobody out there is old enough. Go for it.
I think I bought my first fiddle when I was 28, and the old guy in the store said, "Leaving it a bit late, aren't you, Sonny?" And but no.
Yeah, cheap
I ended up playing fiddle in a band, and it was never too late. So
God,
get to
I would
it.
have decked the dude.
Right.
Yeah.
What a terrible thing to say to someone. My Lord, jeez. I would have fired that piece of crap. Jesus.
Well, when you're old, you can say what you like.
So we're going to go out today, and I'll ask you, stay on the call with me, and then when the show's finished, we'll have a catch-up after the show. So, again, I want to thank you, and I want to thank everybody here for being in the audience. Thank you all so much for keeping the chat going and hanging out. It looks like, as usual, everybody's enjoyed the show. Russ writes, I'm always on the fiddle. God. We have to finish with some innuendo, of course we do. What I'm going to play now is I'm going to play this song because when I heard this, I thought this is absolutely beautiful. And the first time just bear with me a sec. I'm just trying to get something ready here, get the song ready. The first time I heard this, by the end of the song, I was like, I was crying so much. It was so sad.
That's my grandchildren, yeah. Banana ahead.
I didn't turn into a banana. Thank you very much, Mark, bro, for the kind super chat. It's very, very appreciated. And because of kind people like you, it helps me add new things to the show like this. But
You must have that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. You must do a show on that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh God, there's coming up over the next week. There's going to be a lot of fun with this, especially this one. All right, so I'll go out with this one right now. So this is Joe and Barrie Glenn, Empty Nest, and it's a beautiful song. So thank you all for being here. Thank you very much, Joe and Barrie Glenn, for coming on the show. And
thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Jade. Bye.
It's been great.
And this is my best Benny Hill impersonation. So, and I'll see you all in a few days' time because I'm taking tomorrow off as usual. And as usual, do the things that make you happy. Keep making mistakes because they make you better. And you know what? We all rise together. And we'll see you all again soon. Thank you so much, Joe and Barrie Glenn, for coming on the show. This is
Thank you.
The
Thank you.
Empty Nest. Oh, yeah.
Empty nest, all alone. Empty nest, those babes have flown away to seek pastures new. I wish them joy and problems few. Empty nest, what bliss, what now? Crank the radio way up loud, no playful sighs of pure delight, no hungry babies cry at night. Oh my girls, they grow so fast, I pray they do not forget the past. Happy times in company spent, I know those times were but lent. No tiny hands to hold and guide, no big hugs freely given, no tears to wipe from those big brown eyes, no pictures shyly given, no tiny footsteps up the stairs, no noisy disputes to be shared, no handing out of treats this day, no time left to hug and play. swings in morning sun alone. The grass around them is overgrown. Still hear those voices in all their might. The tears, the laughter, delight. Emptiness, all alone. Emptiness, those babes have flown away to seek pastures new. I wish them joy and problems few. Oh my girls, they grow so fast. I pray they do not forget the past. Happy times in company spent. I know those times were